Good morning, students. So fourth marking period has started. Spring break is over. I hope you had a lovely time. We are going to get started with our first marking period 4 lesson. And this lesson actually is not pulled from Edgenuity. This lesson is for everybody on classroom skills, specifically note-taking. Okay, reason I'm addressing note-taking is that I don't think most of you do it. In fact, I know for a fact that most of you don't, because when I directly ask you if you have any notes, you say no. So we're going to talk about note taking because I think it's a very easy way for you to improve your fourth marking period grade. And so you can avoid one of the problems that a lot of you are currently having, which is getting your work done very, very late. Okay. Now I understand you're young kids and your internal clocks work differently, and a lot of you work late at night. But you have to recognize that the hours that I work is from 8 o'clock in the morning until 3:30 at night or in the afternoon. If you send me an email at 3:31 p.m., I am already walking out the door. Okay. That is the time in which I work. That is the time in which I can respond to emails. Okay. I'm not going to message you at 9 o'clock at night. So if you get work done at 9 o'clock at night, I can't look at it until the next morning. Okay. I've said this before and I'll say it again, right? Even if you have work done at 9 o'clock at night, I can't look at it until the next day. Same goes for weekends. I got a lot of emails on Thursday. We weren't in school on Thursday. I was at home with my family. Okay. So I don't respond to it until I come into school. That's the rule. All right. So note taking is going to help you because if you take notes on your assignments and then go into your quiz prepared, you won't have to wait for me to unlock your quiz for you. Okay. So we're going to take a look at some note-taking skills today, and I'm actually going to do it on paper because I know I type a lot faster than all of you. And I thought, oh, I'll just type out some notes and show the kids how to do it. But then I was like, actually, a lot of you are not very good typers. So I'm going to be using a standard composition book. This is not college ruled either. It's just a regular old notebook. You can see it's got a whole bunch of pages torn out. In order to do this, I'm actually going to use some of the information from Edgenuity to take my notes. All right. I'm just going to bend this down a little bit so that you can see the notebook page. All right, so hopefully this is working properly. Let me just make sure. Now you should be able to see as I take notes how I write, okay? So we're gonna watch at least one or two of these. We'll do the first one real time so that you can see how I'm writing, and then I'll speed up the other ones, okay? So pay attention and maybe take some notes as I take notes. This is from the 8th grade section on how work is structured.
Today you'll be looking at how a text is organized and working to answer the lesson question, how is a case study structured to show important ideas? Today, you'll be reading about bird flu. Notice the bird in the photograph. In Thailand, a bird like this one caused a huge scare for many people. You've already begun thinking about what makes you curious as you thought about your own experiences about sickness. Let's begin to think about how understanding a text's organization helps you as a reader to understand what is important in a text.
Okay, so you just saw me take some notes in real time. Now this is only 40 seconds of notes, all right? So there wasn't a lot there, but you can see that I started to organize some information. So I started with how is a text organized? That's the big question, okay? It says here, how is a case study structured? But she said, how is a text organized, right? That's the big idea. And then I wrote, it structures ideas. It helps readers understand what is most important. She also mentioned some prior knowledge for us, which is what makes me curious. That's an even broader question that I think is kind of important, right? What makes me curious about a text? What makes me want to read more? Being able to structure your text well or being able to identify how a text is organized can help you activate that curiosity and make you more interested, all right? Think about it like a thumbnail for a YouTube video. right, is a blank black thumbnail with just a couple of words as interesting as a brightly colored thumbnail with big text and lots of images, right? The blank thumbnail is not going to draw your attention as much as the pretty pictures. Same thing with a story. When you're writing a story or you're writing an informational piece, you have to present your information in a way that is attractive to your readers and they want to continue reading. So I'm going to watch the second one of these, but we're going to speed up that clip a little bit. So I'm about to begin section 2. As you can see, it's 2 minutes and 30 seconds long. So I'm going to speed this up into just about 15 to 30 seconds, somewhere in there. All right. All right, so that was pretty painless. Let's go over my notes. So first, I have the large question. How is a text organized? I'm sorry about my handwriting or that you can't really see it there. I'll just read it out loud for you. I said it structures ideas and it helps readers understand what is important. Okay, so that's what text organization is. And then I asked that big question, what makes me curious? Down here now, I wrote slide 2. Okay, so I'm marking where in the text this information can be found. I wrote some definitions. Informational text is equal to real life. Okay, so informational text writes about real things. Notice that I'm not writing out full sentences. I'm using equal signs. I'm using underlines, capital letters, little pointers, right? Physical graphs. You don't have to write in full sentences in order to take good notes. I wrote it uses the investigative style, which presents evidence. And I wrote evidence in big letters because she made it an important point. And I said, okay, I have to remember what evidence is. But she didn't tell me what evidence was yet. So I wrote it down in all caps to remember to come back later to it. And then I wrote down conclusions equals logical judgments based on evidence. So this is clearly important, all right? And then she went on to another slide and showed me this graph of ask a question, present evidence, and then draw a conclusion, all right? And that's kind of where we stopped. But she said that this is how a case study is organized. Ask a question, present evidence, then draw a conclusion. Notice that you're not starting with a conclusion. Okay, usually when we have you guys write informational argumentative texts, you pick your conclusion first and then go and prove it. A case study is exactly the opposite. You actually begin with no conclusion. You read, study, and then demonstrate the evidence that you found and draw conclusions from it as an active part of the writing process. So that's really an important thing to note, is that it's completely backwards from the way that you normally write. You guys usually start by drawing conclusions and then present your evidence and then address the question of, what are we going to do about it? Or what are you going to do about it, right? And you guys tend to end on questions, whereas a case study is completely backwards. You start with a question, present your evidence, and then draw a conclusion. Now, you will also notice that I did go back and add some notes partway through, and that is facts, details, and statistics. So I helped define what evidence was, all right? Now, this is only 2 slides. This is 3 minutes worth of study, and I have filled up half a page, okay? Now, granted, it's not a very big notebook, but I think you can understand now why taking notes is so important. Even in just 3 minutes of watching Edgenuity, there's enough notes there to fill up half a page. I think a lot of you guys, if you do take notes, maybe take half a page of notes on an entire unit. It's not like if you take notes, you're magically going to get better at everything. You also have to learn to take good notes. And what good note taking is for you is going to look a lot different than what good note taking is for me. It's a very personal process. Maybe equals, signs, and underlines doesn't work for you. Maybe you do want to write in larger sentences. Maybe you want to draw pictures. Maybe you want to have graphs or diagrams. Okay, you've learned a lot of different note taking skills in school. You're probably familiar with T-charts and Venn diagrams and all kinds of stuff. But actually applying those things is what's important. And that's why I'm showing you this today. That's why I'm going through the process of taking notes on your own lessons to demonstrate to you how to do it and how I would do it if I was in your shoes. Okay, so hopefully this little, practice and demonstration has helped convince you that you should be taking some notes. All right, and hopefully it also kind of indicates to you how it might help you on a test. Right here, I have the definition of text organization. I have the definition for informational text. I have the definition for a conclusion, and I have the order in which a case study should be presented. You can bet that those are test questions that are going to come up. And now I have them written right here, so I don't even have to guess. All right. I know it's tough for maybe younger people to understand, but doing more work up front usually means less work later. A lot of you right now are struggling to catch up on your third marking period. Well, if third marking period's over, third marking period ended last week, and I still have students trying to turn stuff in. I can't promise you it's going to be graded and turned in. Okay. That's what you had to get it done last week. Some of you spent some time over the break doing a little bit of work, and I'll try to get that in. All right. You did it, and I'll try to get it in, but you have to get the work done up front if you want to see the results in the end. Okay. It's like going to work late, doing nothing while you're there, and then asking the boss for your paycheck at the end of the day, right? Yeah, you showed up, but that's about it, right? If you don't do work, you're not going to get paid. And same way, if you don't do the work up front, you won't reap the rewards. You won't get paid in your grade at the end of the year. Okay. Just because you showed up does not mean you deserve it. You have to put the work in, and you have to do it right. All right. Good luck, and I will see you next time.